Hi friends, I just wanted to share the birth chart that I've come up with for Mr. Nick Fuentes. I like to rectify charts. It's one of the things that I like to do. And I wanted to share how I came up with this chart and something interesting that I've noticed that is shared by a few other kind of nationalist types. I just want to make it clear that I am not giving my personal view towards him. I understand that he is a divisive figure. And I'm not endorsing or condoning what he says in any way. And I'm not saying that it's a terrible thing either. All right, I'm staying neutral. But no matter what he says, whether you like it or not, he does have a very engaging way of saying it. He's a very good talker. And when I first heard him speak, that's one of the things that kind of grabbed my attention. And I thought, oh, he must be a Gemini because, he's just got that Gemini feel about the way that he speaks. And I was really surprised when I looked up his chart. He has no time of birth, but he has no planets in Gemini. So no matter when he was born, no matter how the chart is set, there's no planets in Gemini. So one of the things that I do when I'm rectifying charts, I always look for something that stands out about the person. And I go from there. So for example, Ilaria Baldwin. Yeah, I looked at her chart the other day and I immediately set it so that Sagittarius, which is one of her houses that is absolutely jam-packed full of planets, was in the 5th house because her standout feature is the fact that she just has so many children. And so that's how I did it for her. With Nick, with our friend Nick, Mr. Fuentes, I put his 1st house as Gemini because I feel like that sign needs to be emphasized in his chart. So I set him as 1st house Gemini. I was torn. I almost did 1st house as Cancer because I think he looks a lot like a Cancer. But that's where it ends with him in terms of how he appears. He looks like a Cancer. He's got the face of a Cancer, but he has the energy and he comes across more as Gemini to me. So let's try it like this. So 1st house Gemini, for obvious reasons. He comes across as a Gemini. He's got a little bit of impishness in his face, quite a small guy. Geminis tend to be small. And even when they're tall, they have like very small features. Small features. Think of like Clint Eastwood, even though he's an old guy, but he's got like those small little nose. Sometimes they have those little pointy ears. What's that guy's name? Russell Brand. He's a Gemini. Tall guy, I think. He looks tall, but he's got small features, small faces. Gemini 1st house people often have those impish faces. Interestingly, it puts him as Cancer 2nd house with the moon in its own sign. Very strong house. Cancers are very good at making money. And I like this for him because people talk Cancer is like women and children. Yes, it's all of those things, but it's also the home, the money you make from the work that you do, and his environment, his influence in his environment is the home. Quite literally like the motherland, America first, right? I thought that was an interesting point to make, but one of the main reasons I like this is because it puts his 3rd house as Leo, and it's jam-packed house. So he has first of all, Leo is a performer. Yeah, it's very performative sign. That is one of the main signatures of Leo. They love to perform. They're performing even when there's no one there, to be honest with you. Even if it's just you and your kids and your husband in the house, it was performing. So I feel like his style of communication, he has a show, right? So it's a performance anyway, but he has a very performative communication style. 3rd house is communication. 3rd house is also associated with the 3rd sign. 3rd sign is Gemini. And what do we have here? We have Gemini's ruler, the planet that deals with communication. Mercury is here as well. Mercury, kind of the way I see it, he's kind of like, he's half spirit, half physical. There's a two-ness about Mercury. He snatches thoughts, almost like inspiration, out of the ether, and he compartmentalizes them and processes them in your mind, and then he spits them back out as communication. So you've got this strong Gemini connection to the 3rd house that's in the performative and engaging and kind of warm sign of Leo. So I think that's good for him. And he's got the sun there in its own sign, very strong, and he's got Venus there, bringing him grace, attraction, magnetism and a certain kind of symmetry in the way that he communicates. So I thought that was really interesting. But what I thought was extra interesting is his fourth house. So that brings his fourth house to Virgo. Yeah, so fourth house is ruled by Virgo, the Virgin, purity, cleanliness, diligence. And what do we have here? Well, we don't have a planet, but we have the North Node in the fourth house. And what is the fourth house? Fourth house rule is related to the fourth sign, Cancer, home again. Yeah, interesting how certain patterns can be found in a birth chart that you wouldn't necessarily see. You know, it's not where his sun is, it's not a rising sun, but there are these patterns there. So even though he's Leo, he's very Gemini. He's got a lot of Gemini signature, and he's also got a lot of Cancer signature in his chart as well. And that fourth house, North Node, is your heading in life. You know, it's where you're supposed to be going. Fourth house rules over home, family, father in particular, but deeper than that, it's your roots, it's your tribe, it's your race. If you boil it down, it's where you come from. And he has his North Node there, he's heading in life there, all filtered through the Virgin sign, the sign of purity and cleanliness. So that could literally mean like racial cleanliness, racial purity. And he's not the only one. I rectified a chart for Mr. Tommy Robinson before I did this, and noticed that I put him as Aries first house, just because he kind of really reminds me of a, you know, angry little red Mars person. And interestingly enough, his North Node ended up in the fourth house. Similar overtones there. Enoch Powell, we have a real birth chart for him. No need to rectify that one. He has his North Node in the fourth house, and similar again. This kind of nationalistic, ethno-nationalist type of thinking comes up there. Hitler, I hate to say the H word, but his North Node wasn't in the fourth house, but his South Node was, and it was a very damaged house for him as well. But again, these kind of themes of nationalism, like racial purity and things like that, they can be found in a lot of fourth house people, North Node especially. But not just that. Nigel Farage, we have a birth chart for him. He doesn't have his North Node there, but it's an emphasized house. So I just think it's really interesting that some people really are designed to focus on certain areas of their life, and maybe has something to do with why some people just can't understand it. Some people just don't get it. Some people do. Have a look at your chart. What's going on in your fourth house? And if you like this video, if you want to see more like it, this is a tiny, tiny, tiny little channel. Please help me to grow it by liking the video if you like the video, and leaving a comment if you have something to say, and subscribing if you want to see more. Help the channel grow a little bit. And